That fireball that was the San Antonio Spurs winning streak is now over. They lost to the Wizards of Washington after beating them so badly just over less than a week ago. Got their coach fired. They come down here, return the favor. 14 points down. The Spurs had that game all night long, like all night, from early to late. They had this game in their pocket. It was 10-14 until the fourth quarter, and they just there's terms my coaches would say that I'm not allowed to say on air, but they just frittered it away. They just did a little of this here, a little bit of that there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and before you know, they lose a basketball game in the worst way possible.
We talked about this with the Minnesota win on Saturday night yesterday, when the Spurs, or how the Spurs kind of held win probability percentages for most of the fourth quarter. And the point was, while that game kind of felt a little bit, up and down or whatever the case may be, the Spurs were kind of in control. This game was the exact opposite. The Spurs were in control until 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. They overwhelmingly, the Spurs had absolutely every level of probability, every level of suggested win percentage. It was theirs. And it took the most beautiful disaster of incompetence to throw this game away. But you know what? That's who we are. Everyone failed, even Wemby. And I appreciate that Wemby, was honest about it, and kind of called them out and, didn't mince words. Wemby, he's right. They were immature.
Well, let's hear from both of them. This is Pop post game, and he was rightfully perturbed.
Well, that's what I call a self-inflicted loss. I thought Washington played harder than we did. They played smarter. They executed better. We didn't have enough people playing well or playing smart, and we did that to ourselves. So I think it's a tough loss because for the first time in a while, we looked young, we looked immature, we looked foolish, and did not play with each other the way we have been. So that's a disappointment, but that's the way it goes, and you move on.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Post game Pop.
I don't move on. I have to sit in this filth. What do you mean move on?
Mark the tape. That was perfect.
I'm so tired of that. What? Just because you're mad, we're supposed to feel better? What is the fix?
That's what really the worry is anymore. Not starting. This has always been kind of an underlying thing, the way Pop coaches. He coaches, I've heard that he's been coaching. He has, at least in the past, Coach Keldon kind of hard. And Wemby said, it might have taken a few minutes, but he has been yelled at from Pop. But do you get the sense, and I don't know, but I just get the feeling that there's just not a lot of ramifications for actions. That the accountability, Pop's mad at you today, but tomorrow I'll start again. And as long as there's a little bit of continued growth and we're a little bit better here, and finally you executed and did it right the fourth time, then we're getting better. So there's really no need to get mad. Let's give flowers. Devin had 24. Let's give flowers. You guys controlled the game for almost 46 minutes. You guys did everything good. So get a good shower, boys. We'll get back at it tomorrow.
It does feel a little bit like, hey, guys, we had a really embarrassing collapse of a loss to one of the worst teams in basketball. But oh well,
at home.
We're fine.
But yeah, oh well.
Yeah, we had our chance to win three games, a big mighty three games in a row for the first time, all of which would have been at home. Could have given, our fans something nice to kind of sit and chew on before we leave forever. And, that would have been cool, but, we just didn't. And so it's all good. How about that brotherly matchup, huh? How about that? That was cool, huh? Watch two brothers play each other. Oh, yeah. Y'all enjoy that? Enough. All right. I'm so mad at myself, and I know that you laughed. I'm so mad that I was so high on the hope on Saturday night that I checked the standings. I'm so mad that I was that sucker that I was just like, how far out? I'm so mad that I let myself get lulled.
Before you got here, Jimmy Trevino, who is the producer over there on our sister station, KTSA, one of the news rats, came in. He said, man, I really needed last night. I was like, what do you mean you needed last night? He goes, I needed that 10th win to validate the fact that there's still a mathematical chance for 30 wins. It's like, dude, you are so delusional right now.
I mean,
30 wins. If we came back this time next year and we started with the 9-game run, we ain't gonna have 30 wins. What the hell are you talking? 30 wins? This team is biblically bad. And not only do they not try, they're under-talented. So you got, what did Dean Wormer say to the fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son? Well, we're fat, drunk, and stupid, man. There's not a whole lot of redeeming character to a thing last night. I mean, there's nothing there. If you're not going to try.
If you had to. I mean, if you had to give the most positive element to last night's game, what is it? Because I have the answer, but I want to hear yours.
I have. I asked 3 words for Stephen Jones. I have 2 words for you last night. Blake Wesley.
That's your answer?
He's a difference maker, man. In the minutes that he got, the effort changed, the pace changed. Things were different. It's just the addition of another point guard. The Wemby thing is obvious. Wemby had a bad game, but he still had a good game.
I mean, it's amazing that 22 points, 11 rebounds.
Yeah, is considered a bad game. He still had a good game. He was still a presence. He's soft. Stop dribbling 7'5", dude, in the open court. They're coming for you. It's like ants to an ice cream cone, baby. They're coming. So stop dribbling. You're loose. But all in all, I don't fault him for what happened last. Well, he played a role. He's soft. He's a kid and got beat up like a kid last night.
So that's still the wrong answer. So embarrassing for you.
Oh,
you
wow.
Come up with the right one.
We made Marvin Bagley Jr. an all-star last night. He was balling. Thanks, Victor. Good job.
I was gonna say, in terms of my answer for the best thing to happen is the Wizards were only 36% from beyond the arc, and your boy Kyle Kuzma, who you flirted with on the internet, was a big offer. So that's the guy you're selling out for, Rob. He was 0 for 4.
No, it wasn't like Washington's good. It wasn't like a good team rolled in here and beat us.
I'm just saying, for a team that's been eviscerated, from the 3-point line, it wasn't that bad. So that was going to be my answer. But Chetty, hey, you got anybody want this? Anybody want to come downtown? Anybody want a little last minute in their life?
Chetty and his success last night, because Chetty played great. At least he was running
awesome.
At 101. He had the pace right. His shot was falling, and he knew, heck, ain't nobody else doing anything. So on the few opportunities that he got, he was the only dude that was dialed. Why every time down court when he was in there was a reason why he was out there. We needed to get him the ball more, and it just kind of is reflective of the selfish basketball that everybody around Wemby plays. That Devin and Keldon, they are selfish. They are, my option is first. If I got it, I got to do it. So Keldon goes to the bench. I get it. Go do it then. Devin is selfish. He takes more bad shots than anybody I know. He makes a fair amount of them. I'll give him that. But he takes some terrible shots that maybe some other dudes should be taking. So the selfish ball played into the apathy that we saw in the fourth quarter, because I got mine, go get yours is an attitude a lot of times. And that happens on defense too. So when I got mine, go get yours on offense, the same things happens on defense. I got mine, you better take care of yours. There's no help side defense. There's no backside any kind of communication at all. It doesn't matter who was in there. And then you top that off with 5 dudes that don't give a crap. That even if I don't do well, hey guys, couple problems here and there. Don't mull over it. Here's a scone. Here's your lavender tea. Have a good evening, and we'll discuss some areas of opportunity tomorrow.
Lavender tea, interesting. I'm more of a honey chamomile kind of guy, but
I don't drink tea. Is there such thing as lavender tea?
Oh, dude, I'm bringing tea and honey next week. By the way, I'm very excited.
Are you down with that? Have you gone holistic?
It's just I talk a lot.
Oh, to get over the hangovers.
It's just to keep my throat from not falling apart.
How about that right in, huh?
Anyway, I wouldn't use the word selfish. I would use the word immature. It's immature basketball. It's not understanding, and I don't just mean to be synonymous, but I mean, that's the vibe I get. It's like you don't understand the bigger picture that's happening here, which is a mark of, and I don't mean immaturity like, like fart jokes. I mean, like, you're just not understanding, you're not understanding the overall goal here, which is why we're so upset about this, because it feels like some of this is serving to the detriment of the future of everything here. But I mean, back to Chetty. I mean, he's been named in possible, trades.
Free Chetty. Free him.
That's what. No, but I mean, come get him. Like last night was a showcase. Last night was a better Chetty showcase than it was a Kuzma showcase. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
so let's do it. I mean, like, fine, free him, but give me assets. That's really at this point, 2 birds, 1 stone. Free him, give me assets, continue the rebuild. I mean, this is just same old, lather, rinse, repeat.
And we won't be mad if we see a player get yelled at.
No,
I don't understand the reticence to be
who's going to catch those
the
hands?
hard-nosed coach that Pop was known to be.
Who's going to catch those hands? Because I feel like that's going to happen. There is going to be a blow up on somebody that's going to be made an example.
At some point, he is going to lose it.
Who is it?
You get the sense it's going to be Keldon. That at some point, Keldon is going to scream yet again at the rim, because Keldon is a kind of a guy at the rim. It doesn't matter if anybody. So what happens is he cries wolf. So even when he is fouled and he hollers, he doesn't get the call. He doesn't have the respect of the refs anyway. And by the way, speaking of ref respect, so last night in the Milwaukee Bucks game, it's Doc Rivers' first game as the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is at the free throw line. I heard him described as the human rain delay of a free throw shooter. So there's the 10-second count that is never enforced. I mean, people boo and they clap and they count, but refs, that's been the last bastion of them inserting themselves into the game, is allowing the process, whether it be 3 seconds or 10, to take place for guys to take a free throw. Well, for the first time in ages, in Doc's first game as a coach at Milwaukee, the freak is called for a count for a 10-second violation. What does that mean? What does that tell you? Just when you hear that Doc's first game, it's never enforced. A ref steps in and says, "Today, I'm beginning anew. It is wrong."
I mean, I think it's an implication of be careful what you wish for. Like, be careful what you invite. Be careful. Like, attention is never necessary, or not always a good thing. Doc opens eyeballs, like your tweet to Kyle Kuzma. And I think that's what that was. It's a victim of circumstance.
I think there was a message sent from ref to coach. Welcome back, hero. My eyes on you. Much like my eyes are on Kyle Kuzma. Last night, if we'd have had somebody that is a professional bucket getter, a guy that is here for a purpose, there'd have been a win. Even with the lackadaisical defense, even with the farcical offensive structure that we saw sometimes, with the lack of intensity, the inability to close out the simplest of passes, just be crisp. Even with all of that, they'd have beaten the Wizards. And there is a cure for what ails you. It's more cowbell, and his name is Kyle Kuzma. What I'm getting at is I'm to the point where I look at this team and go, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin, because there's hot nights and bad nights. Devin hasn't been playing poorly, and Keldon has been at the rim, even, with good and bad teams. But all in all, you get to the point where I want to see Pop blow up at somebody. I want there to be, at least feel like the anger that I have as a fan is being shared, applied and shared to the players who are offering me these nights of uninspired, lackadaisical basketball. Like they're entitled. They're not entitled to my $95, $500, $2,000 seat. That's how much it costs for me to get there to watch you. Just show up. And I kind of giggle about it in postgame.
I don't think it's entitlement anymore. I think it's been too long. I mean, maybe there's entitlement from, I really don't know who, but it's indifference. You know what I mean? There's such a purgatory sort of team. Like, this isn't an entitled team that won a title 2 years ago and has some, kind of skeleton crew left over of players who think that they're, a part of it all. This is just, existence. You know what I mean? This is just, this is just going along with the ride. Like, there's such a clear and obvious gap between you and the competitive teams. I wouldn't even say the competitive teams, the other teams in the NBA that, what is it worth? You know what I mean? Like, it's exciting, when you go on these like 8-2, 10-0 runs or whatever, and you get all into it or whatever. But then you so are quickly humbled and brought back down to earth that it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. We all got some cardio in, you know what I mean? Like we're good.
We're good. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, like it'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like the checks will still clear. Like, we'll be fine. Maybe Kyle's maybe on his way. Rob tweeted at him. He's working those socials. I mean, but I don't think it's entitlement, because what do they have to be entitled about? Nothing.
Well, they know that, no matter what, we're going to buy a ticket.
I don't think that matters.
You get the pleasure of seeing Victor Wembanyama play. You get the honor of sitting down in front of watching a guy give you the very best he has,
but he's not
for 25 hard minutes.
He's not entitled at all, though.
He's not entitled, but he's only playing 25 minutes a game and doesn't have to play back-to-backs because he's not entitled, but the entity that is Victor Wembanyama, the product, is. He's not entitled. He doesn't have to play back-to-backs, though. And at 20 minutes, he's tired. He needs to rest.
It does feel a little person who has a incredible car in a bubble in their garage. I mean, mean, if that's the entitlement you're speaking of, then I'm fine with that. I'm talking about the roster. Like, I think the roster's so like raw and whatever and floozy that they're just like,
with every passing day. And I know we've had some it's looking
like,
less and less like
we lost again. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like how can you be more bad? You know what I mean? Like
the good news is they have a hungry team in Orlando arriving tomorrow night, a team that who'd have thought maybe we can emulate their process and get better. They're not what they were, but they're still really good. The Magics are coming to town in matchup between Wemby and Paolo, which should be fun to watch, and we'll make sure we're getting you ready for that as we get close.